The terminal was crowded with hurried footsteps, the hum of rolling suitcases, and the murmur of tearful goodbyes. Yet, for Nathaniel Carter, a man who had built empires and lost them in the silence of his own regrets, the world suddenly stilled. He froze mid-step, his boarding pass crumpling in his hand. Just 20 feet away, standing at the departure gate, was the woman he had once called his wife, Amara. Her presence cut through the noise like a blade. But what sent a shiver deep into his chest wasn't just her. It was the two small children clinging to her hands, twins, no older than 4. Both had the same storm-gray eyes he saw every morning in the mirror. His eyes. Nathaniel's heart hammered against his ribs. The weight of every decision, every loss, every moment of pride that had cost him love and family, rushed back like an unstoppable tide. He thought he had buried the past. He thought time had numbed him. But seeing them, Amara and the twins, shattered every wall he had built. Nathaniel staggered back against a column, the polished marble cold against his palm. For years, he had convinced himself that Amara had moved on, that whatever they had shared was dead, buried under the ashes of pride and unspoken apologies. He had told himself she never looked back, that she had erased him from her world just as ruthlessly as he had tried to erase the memories of her laughter from his own. But those children, those eyes. No, he whispered, his voice almost swallowed by the airport's hum. They can't be mine. Denial wrapped around him like a shield, trembling and fragile. He wanted to believe it. Needed to. After all, wasn't Amara the one who left him? Wasn't she the one who packed her bags after endless nights of arguments, of him putting business before love, boardrooms before bedrooms, and contracts before connection? She had begged for more of him, more of his heart. But he had always told her, later, I'm building something for us. But later had never come. And one day, neither did she. Now, staring at those little faces that mirrored his own, Nathaniel felt the denial crumble. He saw his own stubborn jawline in the boy. He saw the fire in the girl's gaze, the same fire Amara had once fallen in love with. He felt as though someone had taken the ground from beneath him. Suddenly, his phone buzzed in his pocket, a reminder of the world he lived in now. His assistant had texted, flight boarding in 10. Investors waiting in London. London. Deals. The empire. And yet, none of it seemed to matter. For the first time in years, the weight of his billions felt meaningless. What good were penthouses and private jets if the only legacy he had left behind were 2 children who might never even know his name? Amara turned slightly, adjusting the children's jackets. Nathaniel caught a glimpse of her face. Older, wiser, but still striking. There was no bitterness in her expression, just strength. The kind of strength he had once mistaken for defiance, but now understood as survival. His chest ached with an unfamiliar pain, something deeper than regret. It was grief for the years stolen by his pride. Grief for birthdays missed, for lullabies he had never sung, for tiny hands that had never reached for him. He wanted to call her name, to run to her, to demand answers, apologies, forgiveness. But his legs felt rooted. His lips refused to part. And then it happened. The boy looked up. Their eyes locked, gray meeting gray. Nathaniel's breath caught. The boy tilted his head curiously, as if sensing something familiar in the stranger who couldn't look away. It was too much. Nathaniel turned, stumbling toward a bench, collapsing into its cold metal frame. His chest heaved as though the air itself betrayed him. He hadn't cried in years, but now tears blurred his vision. He pressed his hands into his face and whispered into the hollow of his palms. God, what have I done? Nathaniel didn't board his flight. For the first time in his career, he let business wait. He sat in that airport for hours, watching strangers greet loved ones, children run into open arms, and families reunite with tearful embraces. He watched life unfold around him, the very life he had sacrificed in pursuit of wealth. Each passing face reflected what he had lost. And yet, strangely, each smile and every hug became a mirror of hope. An elderly man sat beside him, his suit faded, his hands wrinkled but steady. He noticed Nathaniel's vacant stare and said gently, "You look like a man who just saw a ghost." Nathaniel laughed bitterly. Worse, I saw my past, and maybe my future, both slipping away in the same moment. The man studied him, then said, "Life has a cruel way of reminding us of what truly matters. But the cruelest thing you can do is waste the reminder." Those words struck deep. Nathaniel had always believed time was on his side. That success would eventually lead him back to love. But now he saw the truth. Time waits for no one. That night, instead of checking into a five-star hotel, Nathaniel went home to his penthouse and sat alone. The silence mocked him. No laughter. No toys scattered on the floor. Just sterile walls filled with art that never looked back at him. He poured himself a glass of scotch but set it down untouched. Instead, he picked up a notebook, a gift Amara had once given him. He had never written in it. That night, he filled its pages with letters to his children. Letters they might never read, but ones he had to write. For them, and for himself. Days turned into weeks. Nathaniel sought therapy, something he had once scoffed at. He found himself volunteering at shelters, not because it looked good in the papers, but because the laughter of children began to heal the hollow ache inside him. Each small act was a step forward. And then, one morning, he made a decision. He would find Amara. Not to demand her back, not to claim rights over the children, but to apologize. To look her in the eyes and say the words he had buried for too long. I was wrong. I am sorry. And I want to be better, even if it's only as a stranger they never know. Weeks later, he did find her. The conversation wasn't easy. Amara listened, guarded but calm. She didn't promise reconciliation. She didn't erase the years of pain with a single embrace. But she allowed him something he thought he would never have. She let the twins meet him. The first time his daughter reached for his hand, Nathaniel felt the walls of his heart break completely. And in their place grew something new. Not wealth, not power, but peace. Moral of the story. True wealth is not measured in fortunes, but in love, forgiveness, and the courage to heal. Pride can build empires, but only humility can rebuild hearts. The past may wound us, but facing it with honesty and compassion is the first step toward true renewal.